Hi everyone, Amazing here. Welcome to my free and highly dynamic interactive Excel dashboard right on this YouTube channel. So today I'm going to show you how to create a beautiful and highly dynamic interactive Excel dashboard from the scratch. So before we go ahead and actually start creating this dashboard, so let me show you what a dashboard is all about. So you click here on about, you can see what it is that you have to know about the dashboard, which is the case study. So analyzing salary information from San Francisco government employees from 2011 to 2013. That's exactly what it is. So we're trying to analyze a government employee's salary, how much they had been paid over time based on 2011, 12, and 13 and stuff like that. As you can see, we have 2012 selected, and we have top earners selected, and we have on the top earners we have over 1,000 workers and top earners and stuff like that. You can see a lot of metrics right here. You can actually delve more into, right? So now if we want to clear the filter, you can actually just click on clear right here. And once we click on clear, we have the filter cleared from all the filters we've actually selected, and now the dashboard is back to its normal view. So are you ready to start creating this from the scratch? Let us hit the right workbook. So here is the data set we are given. So there are some actually dimensions that are not actually created for us. So for we to actually make sure this fits the screen, I'm just going to click right here and actually double click on it and actually have it expanded out. So I'm just going to actually have to make sure I have it something I've closed down this way that I can actually have space to view other part of it. Oh, I still have it. I should have actually deselected. So deselect first before you actually go ahead and actually manually do this. So now you can see what I've done. So now I can see this. So now if I go to my other finished dashboard, so I visit the data part, right? So you can see salary category and job type is not actually on the new one that we are actually given to work on. So how do we work on this rightly? So what the first thing we're going to do right now is just to make sure we convert this particular data into a normal Excel table. Control T will help us to do that, and we see that our table has a header, so we just have to say okay, now we have this, right? And before we do that, so we have what we call full payment. Now the full payment is not right on this, so we just have to say the full pay right here. So this is going to help us. So we need to create this particular measure, and the full pay is just what is the combination of this. So I can actually use sum. So we're going to sum this whole down. So I'm just going to hit on OK. Now the summation of this is just going to give us the full pay, so I can actually just expand it out to actually avoid any error. So now I can decide to okay, now I want to actually highlight the whole and actually go Control-1 and actually format it nicely into some kind of currency, no extra decimal and all of that. So we have something very interesting to view and all of that. So the next thing we're going to do again is for we to actually our dimension right in it. So those are what we call measures. The one with figures are measures, while those ones without figures that are just some bunch of words or letters and all of that are just the dimension that actually give more meaning to your figures. So now I'm just going to say okay, now salary category, we just have to categorize our salary. I'm just going to say salary category. So I'm going to hit enter. So the next one I'm going to do again is job type, right? I'm going to go on this job types. So job types, so we have this as well. So we have to start to create. It's a little bit tricky, so you have to actually watch attentively, and actually if you miss any part of it, just have to rewatch again and you get to understand what it is. So now we want to see, we want to categorize our top earner, middle earner, lower earner, and don't want to create this particular full-time, part-time, and contract workers and stuff like that. So we start from the salary category first. So what we're going to use is actually what we call if condition. So and is actually going to be nested if. So I'm going to say if. So if this particular full pay right here, oh sorry, I think I made a mistake, I have to revert that. So if I should have actually opened my brackets. So if what, if this particular full pay right here is greater than, so greater than or equal to, make sure you're greater than very well. So greater than or equal to $120,000. I'm going to put $120,000. So that means they are what? They are the top earners in our organization. That is exactly what it is. So now the next thing again, I'm going to still use if condition again. We call it nested if. We nest another if inside the if we just used. So I'm going to say if again, this full earner is what is greater than, but this time around we are not going to use equal to, but just greater than alone. So greater than what? So now we're going to check for the middle earners. So greater than $70,000. $70,000. So what I want to give to me is actually the middle earners. And the next one again is the last one, and it's going to be still if. We next on that if inside it again, this full earners or full pay whatsoever, so it's actually less than $70,000. So what I need to give to me is actually this lower earners right here. So now I can actually put my comma, and if there is no any of these criteria that we actually supply to this actually matches, so give me nothing. So we have it closed. Right now if I go ahead and hit enter, counter error because I've not actually closed all the ifs I have opened. So I'm just going to close, like go here again, move to the end and actually have it closed. So we have 3 ifs open, we have to actually close it 3 times. So but still if I go ahead and hit enter, there will be error. So let's see what error are we going to have. So you can see we have some part of it to give us the number, you know, out here, normal stuff. So if I actually double click right now, it's actually moving down. So we just have to perform some kind of cell locking right here. So go to the first one and double click on it. And this is what you're going to do. You have to lock this particular top earner, middle earner, and lower earner down. And what you need to do is just to surround it with what, with $sign, and make it some kind of absolutely lock down right there so that it shouldn't move. Okay, now that we've done that, so let's see what's going to happen when I hit enter. So that is beautiful. We just have something beautifully like this done. So what I'm going to do right now, I want to verify, so I can now click just on this particular arrow down and see what it is. So if I have any error, I would have seen the error right here, but there is no error, which means everything is tight. So beautiful. So I'm just going to have some kind of cancel that. So now we need to actually get our job types, you know, created. So that is the dimension created. So it's still the same procedure we have followed before. I'm just going to say if this particular, for the job type right now, there is something a little bit different right here. Just wait and see what it is that we are going to do. So we actually created this from the full pay right here, but right now for the job type right now, we want to actually get that from what, from the base pay. And the base pay is the base pay of every single employee in the organization. We have overtime pay, we have other pay and stuff like that. So right now we're going to be creating this from the what, from the base pay, not just the other way around like we had actually done before. So now to create this from the base pay right now, what are we going to do? So I'm just going to say if this particular base pay right here is what, is greater than or equal to $100,000. So what I need to give to me, that means they are the full time employees. They're the full-time employees. Can you see that? Full-time employees. So I'm going to put comma, and actually let's still use the same nested if again, and just quickly do this. And I don't have to explain much again because already I had done this previously before. Now greater than what, greater than say that is 60. I'm going to explain something after I'm done with this, so that you can actually get the full understanding of all we are doing right here. So I'm just going to actually say if again, and I'm going to click on this, refer back to it, and it's going to be some kind of less than, and once we actually hit on how much is that, 60,000. So what we need is just contract, and if any of this doesn't match, just give me nothing. I'm gonna have it closed, and you know what it is that we have to do. We have to perform what we call cell locking. We have to lock the cells down just to make sure it's actually correct. So right now we have actually logged this particular 3 cells right there. So I'm just going to hit enter. Sorry for that, I have to actually close here. So once I hit enter right now, it should be correct. So click right here to verify if there's any error. So there is no error. So right now, if you look at what is happening right here, so we need to use greater than or equal to. So now whatever is greater than or equal to this particular 100,000 right here, down to 60,000 is going to actually, down to 60,000 is just going to be our full-time employees. And whatever is actually greater than what, 60,000. So from 60,000 is going to be what, of part-time, and we're going to use less than right here. It's going to be less than 60,000. That means you have to actually check it out. So now you have to do this yourself because it can actually give some kind of complication. The first time I actually have a contract that I actually did this on, I actually had a tough time because I had never done it before. So please take a look at that and see how you can actually get it created. So now this is what it is. So this is the colors we used in this dashboard. So the same color you're going to use as well. So how do we go about this? It's very, very simple. Very simple. So we have to go start using this color to create our dashboard. And the first we're going to do is just for we to create a new sheet. sheet right now. So we've just inserted a new sheet, and on this sheet right here, you know how I used to go about my dashboard. I'm just going to go to view and actually make sure the grid line has been turned off, and for the header, I don't want it. I want full screen. And if you cannot get if you actually have this dashboard downloaded and it doesn't fit to your screen, maybe it was because the screen is some kind of small screen, because I'm using a very wide screen computer right here to create this. So now we've just gotten this right. So the next we're going to do right now is to supply the color of the dashboard, just like the color we have right here on this dashboard. So if I go right, the dashboard, you can see the color we have right here. So we'll actually make sure we have something that correlates just like this. Okay, on our new dashboard interface, what are we going to do? So I'm going to show you how to actually enter all those codes should you have not watched any of my tutorial to actually use these codes to create colors whatsoever. But before then, let us just copy this one away to our main dashboard and see what it is that we can actually do to make it some kind of a little bit snappy. So go right here and actually make sure we actually have it. So now we have the first colors being settled down, and the next thing we're going to be doing now is actually the shapes we have right on it. So we have to create that. That is where we're going to have our charts and our numbers now being laid on. So I'm just going to click right here and select this particular rectangle right here. I just want to just get in dimensions. So right now I have to change the dimension I have right here to something different, so I can actually go ahead and say, okay, now here is going to be what 0.5. I'm going to make here to be what? I'm going to make here to be 2.92. So it's going to be 2.92. So I hit enter. That is beautiful. So I can actually make sure I bring it all the way up right here. So that is the first thing I need to do. So here, all I need to just change is actually the height, not the weight any longer. I just change the height to 3.95. So go back again and just come right here and just change this particular part to, this particular part to 3.95. That is 3.95. So hit it. That is what we need to do. So now we don't need to do any extra thing again. It's just for we to copy this down and make sure we settle it down to this level. So we are cool with this view. So you just have to drag it down right here. And if you see what I used to do, I used to sketch my work down before I actually go ahead and create. So I have it already sketched on paper, and you can see the screenshot right here. I have it already sketched on paper before I actually go ahead and create anything. I always have my work sketched down before, so you can actually do the same thing to have this work achieved. So I'm just going to go right here and actually copy this and bring it down to this particular level. If I follow my paper rightly, I will now bring this down here. So I can actually bring this down to this end. So we are almost right on it. So I'm going to bring this right here. So we might not have the perfect work right now, but as time goes on, we're going to have everything normal. So I can bring this down. So if you look at our paper right now, just go ahead and look at the paper we have right here. Can you see this right here? It's exactly what it is. So we can actually say, okay, fine. We can have this called down. So the next thing again, I'm just going to have to bring this down here. So can you see that? I can actually expand this to this level and make sure I have this layout down, and make sure we just get it down right here. So we can actually hold control and actually just move this, and hold this control and actually move this again to have it expanded. So this is what we have just gotten right here. So now we just need to change the color to actually match the color of our previous dashboard. So all we need to do right now is just to click on this and go right and select the color that is going to fit that particular shape. So hold it, and here we go. We have this color for it. So now to actually apply that for every part of it, just make sure you hold your control and actually highlight everything and just go right to the top and hit it. Now we have something beautifully done like this. Can you see that? This is beautiful. This is beautiful. So if we go back to our finished dashboard, so we're going to have something like this, and this is exactly what it is that you need to actually see. Okay, I'm sorry guys, for we to speed things up, we just have to, I just have to go behind the scene and actually have all this actually, shape out for you guys, so that we can actually have this dashboard created in a very short of time. So I've just gotten this. It's actually, normal shape. So if I actually drag it right now, you can see it's just a normal shape, Ctrl Z. And this is just what? This is just a normal, some kind of line. So Ctrl Z. So you can get the line from here. Just click on it and go right here. So here is your line. So what you need to do to have it straight is just for you to hold your shift before you actually drag it. It's just going to have something like this, and you can actually go ahead and actually, you know, do the color and actually make it what you really wanted. So right now we can actually start to create our first analysis right here. So the first thing I'm going to do right now is to get a top 20, but the top 20 is just going to be dynamic, and it's going to be responding to what to filter. Sometimes it's going to be top 6, top 5. It depends on the kind of filter being selected whatsoever. So let's see how we can actually create that. So now I'm just going to go to my analysis analysis 1, but there is nothing on analysis 1 right now. So let's just go to the data part right here, and now we hit on any part of this particular table right here and go to what? Go to insert. So from inside, you see this pivot table right here. Click on it, and you have to actually go to what? Existing worksheet, because already we have a worksheet ready for it. So we click on the worksheet, and we have to actually drag drop this right here and hit OK. So now we've just created our first pivot table right here. So what do we do right now to actually have this done nicely? So we just have to go to what? Job title. So let me show you what we are going to do, what we are trying to achieve. So the top 20 job title with highest employees. So we're going to say the job title with the highest employee. That's exactly what we're going to do. But there is something different that we're going to actually be showing right here. It's not like your usual job title whatsoever or the way you normally do it. So we want to show some other insight inside it. So we have to create this to be some kind of difference. So right now, what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to drop the same job title right here. And this time around, it defaults to count. Yeah, it defaults to count. That is exactly what it is. So right now, once I've just done this, what I'm going to do right now is just to right click on it and actually go to filter and go to top 10, and I'm just going to put here to 20. So 20 for now. So now it's giving me 20, but when I actually apply filter, sometime it will not be 20 any longer. It will be something different. So what I'm going to do right now is just to go to the top level right here and hit on what? Hit on design. From design, I'm going to go to what? To report layout. I'm going to say show in tabular form. Here we change it to job title. And for the grand total, I want to turn it off. So I'm just going to say turn off the grand total. So if we go right now, we have no grand total on it. So now we have something like this. Let's see what we can actually do again to have the analysis, the way we really wanted it. I'm just going to copy this away from here. So the second part of this particular is analysis is just going to be created. So I just have to actually have it pasted right in here. This same pivot table, I have it pasted. And this time around, I'm just going to remove what? I'm going to remove my filter away from here. We don't need filter on this. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, I have to actually make sure I make it smaller so we can see it. So two of them at the same time. So right now, I want to get the value we have right here. I want to get everything. I'm just going to say sum. So it costs nothing if you highlight the whole range, because it's not going to sum this particular part right here, as it knows that it's not a number. I just have to sum it. So we just sum that. So we just have to close this. So right now, I'm just going to sum this to the top level right here. So sum this as well. So what do I want to get? I want to get a percentage of the top 20 employees. So how much percentage do they really add? So to do that, I'm just going to put on my equal to. I get this and actually divide it by this number right here, and it gives me this particular number. So I'm just going to go Control-1, and I have this formatting right here. I have to go like percentage, and I just want to put it on just one decimal. Here we go. So we have it to be some kind of representing 34.7% of the whole 100% total we have right here. Beautiful. We have something like this. I believe you can see what it is that I'm trying to actually show you guys. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to use what we call count A. I'm going to say count A. So what count A does is just going to help me to count this particular cell that contains values right here. I can actually even extend it down if need be. It's not going to be including any of those empty cells right here. So if I go to the top level right now, it's showing me 20 because already we have actually selected top 20. So because it's going to be responding to filter, and if what it responds to is not up to 20, it's going to give us the value. And now we have to make some kind of caption right here that is going to actually be our header whatsoever. So to make the caption right here, I'm just going to put my equal to right here. I'm just going to put on this particular quotation mark. So it's going to be top. So top, I'm going to have it closed. So we have to concatenate this. You know what it is? The ampersand is always so top 20. So under ampersand again. So we'll put a space right on it. So I can actually refer to this right now with this. So I can refer to this job title right here. So now under ampersand, so it's going to be top 20 job title. Yes, the top 20 job title right here. top 20 job title. So quotation marks. So I'm gonna put with highest employee. With highest employees, so I can have it closed. So now if I hit my enter, so we have this, but we are having the top 20 joining our job, so we can actually double click and see what we can do to actually advance that. So top 20. So what we need to do right now is just to space this out. So let's see if that is solved. So not solved. Job. Okay, top 20 job title. So we need to know where it is that we are having some kind of problem with it. So top 20. So top 20. This is 20. Okay, just have to space this out. Sorry for that, guys. Okay, I think this is not gonna be solved right here. I just have to actually put my double quotation right here, put a space on it, and actually use under ampersand. I'm gonna hit enter. Oh, this is not solved. What is wrong with me? Okay. I think where the problem is right now. This is top 20 job title. We need between this particular right here, the job title, and this is actually colliding together. So I can actually place my cursor right here, and I'm gonna put two double quotation marks and under ampersand right here. If I hit enter, I should have the problem solved. Exactly, we have it solved. Sometimes Excel is kind of a little bit tricky. So we have just gotten this done. So I can go to my dashboard right now and represent that with this. So I just don't really want this to be some kind of static. I can actually go to the top level right here and hit on view, and I'm gonna go to formula. And here we go, we hit formula. I can actually go ahead and actually, make sure I have it to look up to this. And here we go. So now I want to give this formatting to it right here. So you might not see the effect right now, but as time goes on, we're going to see that, okay, this is what I'm trying to actually analyze. So right now, we can now bring our top 20 right to this particular dashboard. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to go to insert, and here we go, pivot chart. And I can now go to the kind of chart I really want to have to be on it. So here I'm gonna hit OK. So I have to actually get this away from here. I don't need it. So you can actually right click and say hide. So we're gonna hide that. So I can now make it a little bit smaller. I can now get this away from here. I'm gonna get this away from here as well. And for this particular values, we have this axis right here. We have to get it away. So I can actually cut this away to go to my dashboard right now. So go to my dashboard. Here we go. We have a dashboard right here. I have it pasted in here, and now I can actually make sure I have it in kind of formatted pretty fine. So we go. So we just place it right in here to sit tightly. So we just have to drag this down a little bit. So now I can actually double click on it and make sure we don't have any fill and we don't have any border right on it. So we just have to make sure we change the color to actually fit into our dashboard. So we're going to change the color of that particular pad. Something beautiful like this is cool. I have something like this. So now, okay, now we have to format this. I can actually click on the chart and actually go right here and bump it up a little bit so that it can actually look very, very much beautiful. And now I can click right here and actually go on the color and change the color to something like this, so it sits right on it. So what am I gonna do again? The next thing I'm gonna do right now is just to come right here and actually drag this down. Just gonna drag it a little bit. So nicely I have something like this. I can actually get it a little bit up. Okay, fine. So now for this particular I'm talking about this very grid lines. So what am I going to do to the grid lines? So I can actually go ahead and actually format the grid line the way I really wanted it to be. I can actually go ahead and say, okay, the grid lines, I want to actually make sure you go with some kind of fitting colors or stuff like that. So I have it like this. So I can change this particular path to actually give me a very nice view I really wanted. So I'm going to change this, and now I'm just going to say, okay, give me 100%, and I'm going to go right here. I have to just reduce this, and it's going to give me some kind of cool effect right on my chart. You can see it's beautiful on this. So if I go right here, I want to turn on the data label right on it. So it's on it. So we just have to click and actually go to the top level right here and actually change the color to something like this. So beautiful. So we can actually make sure we have it on bold. So nicely, this is what we've just gotten. Can you see this right now? So this is what it is. So once it responds to filter, you'll see it's more beautiful than what we have right here. So go back to it again, and this time around, I'm just going to hit on what? I'm just going to hit on every single thing right here, and right click on it, and just go to what? Go to format cell. And on format cell, what you're going to do is just to go to number, and from number we have to remove the extra decimal and put your separator on it. So if it has 1,000, so we're going to have it right there. So you just have to do this. So we just go back to a dashboard. Right now you can see it right here is actually working. So you have to do everything like this before you actually feel like, oh, it's not really working for you. And the other part we actually need to touch right now is for we to touch so the next thing we're going to do right now is to bring all our measures right here. So how do we do that? So I'm just going to hit on this particular part again and actually go to what? Go to the data and still go on the pivot table and go to insert pivot table and quickly click on existing worksheet and go back right here and just scroll through all the way down to this level. I'm just going to scroll and I can actually drop it right here. Now I can click OK. So now to get all the measures, what we're going to do right now is just for me to actually get my count of total employees in the organization. I want to go on on base pay right here, and I want to go on overtime pay. I want to go on other pays, and then the full salary is going to be right there. So we've just gotten this right. So the other part is not actually going to be currency, is this part right here. What we're going to do, I'm just going to control 1. I'm going to go to number, and from number I want to actually make sure I remove the extra decimal and put my separator on it. So here we go. So for this, I'm just going to highlight every single thing we have right here. And what am I going to do? The same control 1 again is going to be on $sign. So we just have to put $sign, and here we go, no extra decimal. I'm going to hit OK. That's exactly what I need to do. So now for this actually part here, I want to remove this sum of, control H. I'm going to say sum of, I have to replace it with nothing. Okay, fine, that is beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just for me to come right here, close this, and this job title right here, I'm just going to type this to be some kind of number of employee. So this represent number, so employee, just EMP. Oh, hit OK. That is exactly what it is. So we've just gotten this done. So I'm just going to have to copy this. Okay, for now I'm just going to copy from here, copy it. I'm going to copy. I'm going to have it dropped right here. So because I know it's not going to grow beyond what we have right here, so I can actually have it beneath this one. And I want to remove this particular one right here. And what I'm going to show right now is actually average. So I'm going to go to a field setting. So I'm going to go to what? Go show me the average. And I'm going to do the same thing right here. So we want to show the average. Okay. Sorry for this. So we just have to show the average right here. Go to oh my goodness, I should have been doing this. So we're just going to go to value field setting. So go to average. So the same thing I'm going to do to this, I'm just going to go to what? Show me the average. So the full pay right now, I want to get the average. So we can still remove the average away from here when we are done with this. So we just have to say average. And for now, I'm just going to actually highlight every single thing. And I have to do the same thing I had done before, Control H. I'm going to say, okay, come right here and just type in average of. So average of, we have to represent that with nothing. So we have them cleared off. So we show average. So here is going to be average pay, average payout to employees. So now we've just gotten this done. So the first thing we're going to do right now is just for we to start to get our dashboard populated with what it is that we need to actually have right here. I'm just going to actually have this. This is exactly what I used to do to actually create my dashboard with some kind of speed. So I just have to copy this and have it dropped right here. So right now what I'm going to do right now is just for me to extend this to this end to those that are not really extendable. So I'm just going to actually have to do that manually. I have to extend this down right here. I have to come right here and have this extended. It's already extended just a little bit. So I'm going to have to come right here and extend this as well. So I have gotten this. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is for me to actually bring this to the top level right here, because I have something sitting at the top level and that's actually carried a very huge figure. So we just have to do this. So now I can actually go to the top level right here and go to analysis, and I'm going to pick on my employees. So we have to crank this to be some kind of bigger than any other part of it. So bold, and we just have to increase it. So we have to increase it to this extent. So we just need to change the color something Okay, we use white on it. So beautiful. So but we do not to go with what we have right here. What are we gonna do? So what we're gonna do right now is this. I'm just gonna go and do something different. So I have to align it to the middle. That is beautiful. We have aligned it to middle. So right now we just have to concern ourselves much about this, and I see how we can actually get this to right here. So for the full ending, so I just have to go. We just have to locate where we have the full. So make sure you have it correct. So we have the full end. So we have it right there. So we have to do it by and by. So now we have everything right here. So what you need to do right now, holding a control and actually have everything selected, and go to the top left right and actually choose the same middle to align it in the middle. So we have something beautiful like this. And what we have to do right now is just that we just need to create another view. I just have to actually hold on my control and actually have this drag down to this level. So once you have this drag down right now, just drag it a little bit. Just have to make sure you cut it down to this end, cut it down a little bit. So nicely leave it this way and just deselect it. And now we have to put the average that is actually peculiar to this particular aspect right here. You know what it is. So just go right here, and average of full pay is this particular one right here, and it fits in right here, and do the same thing to this part and all of that. Okay, right now we have to format this. I'm just going to go to the top level right here, go to home, and we have to put this on 16. So here is it 16, and we just have to put it on bold. And now we have to select some kind of color for it. So now we have this particular type of color selected. And what I'm going to do right now is just to have it on all. So I'm just going to actually have to double click on it and apply it to this as well, and I'll have it applied right here. Nicely we have done this. So right now I can actually hold my control right here, and what I'm going to do right now is just to go and actually say, okay, just actually align this way, right? So beautiful. You might feel like, what's going on? That is exactly what I need to do. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to actually have this actually formatted the way it should be. I'm just going to select this and actually make sure it's actually on italic, and I just don't need to actually put it on some kind of bold. So I just have to select this and actually have it right on this, and I'm going to deselect it and actually have to select all of it. So what I'm going to do right now is to still align it the same way. So now it's actually sit tightly right on it. So I just have to actually come to this particular this inner. So I can actually drag it down right here. So I'm just gonna have to remove this, and right here I'm gonna come here and say on what? On average. On average. That is all we need to do. On average. So you just have to actually copy this. On average. So we've just gotten this particular part some kind of created. That is beautiful. This is exactly what we need to do to have a very nice dynamic dashboard. So now as you can see, we have something beautifully like this right here. So our dashboard is actually taking shape just like what we have in the finished dashboard right here. Is taking shape a little bit. So now that's exactly what we've gotten. So right now if you see what we have right on this particular part right here, we have top 6 earner of all time, and we have top 3 earners between 2011 to 2012. But this is not what you think, but I'm going to show you how to have this created. Let's see how we can actually create this in just a short time whatsoever. So I don't have to reinvent the wheel again. So I can actually go ahead and copy from here. I'm just going to copy this pivot table from here. I can actually scroll down to this end. So scroll down. So I'm just going to have to drop it right here. I'm going to say paste. I have it pasted. So right now I want to do that by full pay. Who earned the full pay? I have to actually get this away from here, the full pay. And right now I just want to go by the years right on it, right? So that is exactly what I need to do. Put year right on it. So on my year is going to go to the filter area right here. So I have my year on the filter area. So that is exactly what it is. So my year is on the filter area. And the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I have my employee names right here. So I have my employee names right here. And this employee name is going to be right here. And what I'm going to do right now, I just need the top 3 over time, right? So I have to just say, okay, what I'm going to do right now is just for me to actually say, okay, just filter down to the top 3. And what I'm going to do is just say 3 here. And once I click OK, I have these top 3. And what I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I have this particular grand total selected. So just go right here. I'm going to say the layout, have the form, the grand total. I'm going to have it turned off, and here we go. So for now, I'm just going to go to the top level right here and say, for just show me for 2011, and it's showing for 2011. I'm just going to have this copied away from here. This is how I just got it created nicely. So now we don't have to do anything again. than just to change the years we have right here. So I'm just going to say, okay, now for this, show me just 2012. So we just have to paste the same thing away right here. And we just say for now, what you need to show me is show me the last year, which is 2013. And that is exactly what we need to do beautifully. You understand? So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to say, okay, for sure, I just have to create my 2011. So 2011. So now this is going to be 2012. So 2012 right here, and the 2012. So here's going to be 2013, and it's going to be 2013. So we have it created, right? So now the next thing we're going to do right now is just that we've just created our year. So we need to actually match the year with what? So we need to actually say here is going to be what? We match it with what? With the year, and we're going to match this with the employee name. So we want to say employee name, and here it's going to be what's the full salary of the employee, the full salary. So now we're going to start from 2011. So this is how we do that. It's how we create that kind of chart we just used. So I'm just going to say, okay, this is what it is for 2011. I'm going to drag this down to 2011. We have it created. So for 2012, we just have to get this particular employee, and we drag it down to this particular part right here. And for 2013, we have to go to the chart that is to the pivot table that's peculiar to it. So we have it clicked, and we have to drag it down right here. So here we go. We have it just done this way. And now I can actually go ahead and actually say, okay, now give me the field that is peculiar to this, and it's actually right on it. So this is the figure that's peculiar to what we have right here. You can see that. So it's very peculiar to that. So I can actually highlight all of them together at the same time, and actually make sure I drag it down to this end. So it's going to pick the figures that is actually peculiar to each one of them right on it. So now I can actually decide to actually say, okay, I want to copy the formatting of the currency sign, the dollar sign right here for every part of it, right? And actually have it. So now we can actually go ahead and create the kind of chart we have just gotten right there, which is a tree map to show everything all at once for us. So we just go to what? Go to insert, and from insert we click on this tree map right here, and here we go. We have the tree map clicked on, and we have to remove this because we don't need it already with at the top level right here, and we just get it served as well. So we can actually make it smaller and actually cut it away from here down to our main dashboard. So here we go. We're gonna say Ctrl V. Now we have it right here. So we can actually make sure we situate it down right to where it should belong. So here we go. So we just have to make sure we align it properly, and we give it some kind of cool color that is going to actually make it stand out. So let me just give it some kind of a very nice screen to see what it is that we're actually doing right here. So I'm going to actually make sure I take it to the top level. So now we have something like this. So can I actually make sure I crank it up a little bit? So we still have space for that. So I'm going to actually double click on it, right? So once we have it double click done, so we're going to say no fill and no border. So we have that. So we still have a border right on it. So click back and actually say now no border. So we have the border being cleared. So with that, we can actually have space to actually get to manipulate this. We have space to manipulate this, and we have space to still bring this down, so to have the chart to show very nicely. So I can click on it. Make sure you have this click done. So once you have it clicked done, so what you're going to do right now, go to this particular part right here and go to what? Go to label option and show value, right? Can you see that? So we show the value of every single employee, how much they get paid and stuff like that. So, and it's actually showing nicely. So beautiful. This is exactly what it is that I want to show you guys, how to create this kind of chart to actually get something like this visualized and all of that. So I can actually make sure I take this to the top level a little bit. So now we have this. So what we need to do right now is just I can actually click on this alone. That is this alone, and I can go ahead and go to the top right here and actually make sure it's on bold, and I can actually crank it up a little bit. Can you see that? So that is on 11. So that is exactly what it is. So just have to do that again right here. Just make sure you have it bold and you have it to be on 11 as well. So do the same thing to this as well. So it's actually going to be standard, but right now we have to change the color that is actually on the chart, right? So how do we do that? I'm going to hit this down. So once I have this highlighted alone, go right here. You have to see the color being some kind of showing right on this. So the color is actually right here. So we're going to change the color to something very, very much cool. So I have to choose this color for this, and I can actually click on this color right here. I'll go right and actually say, okay, I want to use this color, and I can click right here and say, okay, for now I want to use something like this color right on it. So now if you see, my color is actually stand out, so I can actually give you a 100% view to see what it is that we have actually done. So you see that it's some kind of stand out. But right now something is actually not really too cool with what we have right here, which is the color of what of the of the text we have right on it. So I can actually go ahead and change the color manually if I want to. I can actually hold it down whatsoever, but right now I think you can actually do that yourself and see how you can actually take care of this and all of that. So can you see this right now? Beautiful. So right now we just want to actually leave this particular video right now, and if you want to watch the second one, click on the card we have right at the top left right here, or go down to this particular to the comment section. You'll see the playlist. Click on the playlist and watch the second video, so that we can actually make this video to be some kind of a little bit shorter. So right now, if you're still watching, thank you very much for watching. So in the next video you will see how we just got everything completed rightly. So thanks for watching.